Welcome back to ACT 2.0. In Lesson 1, you defined the life your business is meant to support, calculated your freedom formula, and saw why ACT must happen in order: analysis, creation, and traffic. Now we begin the real work of analysis. Before you write the message, build the offer, create the page, or buy traffic, you need to answer one question. Who is this campaign really for? A broad market isn't a good campaign decision. Business owners, people who want to lose weight, or home services may describe a category, but it doesn't tell you which buyer has the strongest reason to respond to your offer. This lesson helps you choose the segment you'll study in Lesson 3. By the end, you'll discover and select a clear market segment for your first campaign build file. A good product can look weak when it's shown to the wrong people. A clear message can sound irrelevant when it's presented to a buyer who does not feel the problem strongly enough. And traffic can make that mistake more expensive by sending more attention into the wrong campaign. That is why profitable market selection belongs at the start of analysis. This is not about trying to predict the future perfectly. It is about replacing casual guessing with a disciplined process for making decisions. Before you invest heavily in a new website, product, campaign, or traffic channel, you want to know whether the people you plan to serve have a real problem, a reason to solve it, a practical way to be reached, and a market context where your offer can compete effectively. The goal is simple: discover problems early and adjust before you make costly mistakes. Market segmentation means taking one broad market and separating it into smaller groups of people with meaningful differences. Think about the broad market of home-based business startups. Inside that market, you may find first-time side hustle builders, experienced freelancers, former corporate consultants, local service technicians, online coaches, and people who desperately want a lifestyle change but haven't chosen a business model yet. They may all use similar words on the surface, but they do not have the same urgency, budget, experience, fear, buying triggers, or need for proof. The same is true in every market. When you try to speak to everyone, the campaign usually becomes too general to matter. One of John's most powerful quotes is, "When you speak to everyone, no one hears you." Then he drives it home. Markets don't buy things. People buy things. You need to figure out who the person is that your product is perfect for. Then address them as if you were talking to them directly. When you select one specific group, you can understand their problems more deeply and build a message that sounds like it was written specifically for the person who receives it. Your job isn't to choose the largest group. Your job is to choose the right group to study, understand, and serve. This is how you get your offerings to fly off the shelves effortlessly. There are 4 useful ways to look at any market segment. First is demographic, who the people are in practical terms. Age range, occupation, income range, family stage, education, role, or business type can help you define the group. Second is psychographic, what they value, fear, believe, want, compare, and care about. This is where the message becomes more powerful because it helps you understand what drives the buyer. Third is behavioral, what they do. How do they search, buy, decide, use alternatives, delay decisions, or respond to offers? Where are they in the buying journey? Fourth is geographic, where they are. For some businesses, location, climate, travel distance, city size, or local regulation changes the buyer decision completely. The strongest segment is rarely defined by one lens alone. It is the combination that makes the group specific enough to understand and practical enough to reach. Once you can see the possible segments, you need a way to compare them. Use these 5 profitability indicators as your first scorecard. Demand. Are enough people actively looking for a solution now? Willingness to pay. Do they have both the ability and the reason to invest in a solution? Pain level. How costly, frustrating, urgent, or emotionally important is the problem? Accessibility. Can you realistically find and reach this group through media, communities, search behavior, partnerships, direct outreach, or local presence? Competition level. Is the segment crowded in a way that makes your offer hard to distinguish, or is there a credible opening for a clearer and more useful choice? No single factor decides the answer for you. The scorecard helps you notice the trade-offs before you commit. Copywriter Gary Halbert used a short phrase that helps explain this lesson: a starving crowd. The idea is not to manipulate people. It is to recognize the difference between a group with a mild interest and a group already looking for relief, progress, or a better answer. When demand is active, the pain is real, and people are willing to pay for a solution, your campaign has less work to do just to get attention. That is the path you are looking for. The 5 indicators help you look for that combination. They keep you from falling in love with an idea before you have confirmed whether the market is ready to care. A broken business model often begins with a simple mistake. The owner chooses an idea, then tries to force the market to prove it right. They build the site, write the offer, create the content, and start pushing it out before they have confirmed that the audience is a strong fit. That does not mean the owner lacks effort. It means the order is backward. ACT gives you a better pattern. First, study the possible market segments. Then, choose one. Then build a detailed buyer understanding around that choice. Only after you have that critical information do you move into creation of your message. A disciplined market decision doesn't guarantee the campaign will work, but it does give you a solid starting point, a clearer reason for your message, and an excellent place to test your theory. Our market segmenter is designed to speed up this process. The tool is located inside the Quantum Suite in the ACT program. You simply enter a broad market and review the profitable segments it identifies for you. The tool researches the market and identifies the top 10 most profitable segments and puts them in order of most profitable for you. This can compress weeks' worth of hard work into seconds, but the tool does not replace your judgment. You still need to read the segments carefully. You still need to check the 5 indicators. You still need to decide whether you understand the people, whether your offer can serve them honestly, and whether they are the right fit for you. The most profitable segment isn't always the right one for you. ACT leads. The tool assists. In the next slide, we will look at an example of the report the market segmenter generates. What you are looking at is a current market segmenter report from the Quantum Suite. Notice the difference between the broad market at the top and the more specific segment candidates below it. Each segment should give you a reason to ask better questions. Who are these people? What's their urgent problem? What are they already trying? Where can we reach them? What would make our offer credible to them? And don't choose a winner because the title sounds interesting. Walk through the 5 profitability indicators one at a time. If the result shows a candidate with strong demand and strong pain but weak accessibility, record that. If another candidate seems easier to reach but has low willingness to pay, record that too. The purpose of the tool is not to create false certainty. Its purpose is to help you make an intelligent decision instead of an invisible guess. Here's the process to follow once you have your market segment report. Step 1. Read every candidate without choosing too fast. Your favorite may not be your strongest fit. Step 2. Score each candidate on demand, willingness to pay, pain level, accessibility, and competition level. Use the same scale for every candidate. Step 3. Compare the totals and the notes. A high total is useful, but do not ignore a serious weakness hiding inside the score. Step 4. Do a reality check. Can you understand these people? Do you have a credible way to help them? Can you build a message that respects what they are actually dealing with? Step 5, lock in your decision. Name the segment, write the reason you chose it, and note what you still need to verify. That document becomes the Lesson 2 section of your campaign build file. John often teaches the path of least resistance. In business, that does not mean avoiding work. It means choosing a market where the buyer already recognizes the problem, is actively seeking a solution, can be reached in a practical way, and has a reason to act. You don't want to spend your time trying to convince people that they have a problem they don't believe they have. You want to find the group where your honest offer can meet an existing need. The right segment makes the next lessons easier. It gives Lesson 3 a real buyer to study. It gives creation a real person to write for. And it gives traffic a more disciplined place to start when the campaign is ready. Here's what a completed segment decision looks like. Begin with the broad market. List the candidate segments you considered. Score each one against the 5 indicators. Then, identify the segment that has the strongest overall case for your first campaign. Your selection statement might read like this. Based on the current scorecard, our first segment is segment name. We selected it because demand evidence, pain or urgency evidence, and accessibility evidence. We still need to verify open question. That is much more useful than saying, our market is everyone who might want this. Your market decision must come from your own evidence, logic, and reasoning. Let's bring the lesson together. First, market segmentation is an analysis decision. Choose the market before you build the message or buy traffic. Second, a broad market contains different groups with different problems, motivations, behaviors, and buying conditions. Third, use 4 lenses to understand a segment: demographic, psychographic, behavioral, and geographic. Fourth, use 5 profitability indicators to compare candidates: demand, willingness to pay, pain level, accessibility, and competition level. Fifth, make the decision visible. A documented segment choice is the first real input to your buyer profile and your later campaign assets. Now it is your turn. Open the Lesson 2 Campaign Build File worksheet. Write the broad market your business serves. Use the market segmenter, prompt your favorite AI with an exact market example, or use the same scorecard with credible research and direct customer evidence. List the segment candidates you are considering. Score them against all 5 indicators. Choose one primary segment and write a short rationale. Then, save the worksheet in your campaign build file. Bring your scorecard to the support calls if you are stuck between 2 segments. Do not move forward because you want to get to the fun part. This is the fun part. You are replacing a guess with a real campaign decision. In Lesson 3, we take your selected segment and build a buyer profile detailed enough to guide your message, offer, proof, and sales path.